Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage, where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. And today's video is an update on my year of extreme frugal living, so don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So it's been quite a while, has it not, since I've done one of these updates, and I'll tell you why that is. So I did the week 1 update in the first week of January, and then by the second week of January I tested positive for COVID and was quite poorly to begin with. In fact, for those kind of first few days, really couldn't do anything at all. In fact, I didn't really get out of bed. And it's taken a long time, and I'm still not 100% better. It's taken a long time to get to the point where I feel okay about sitting and filming. But also, just generally life has been not quite as expected. So that was definitely not in the plan. I'd avoided it for so long, but I work in education, so I guess I was never going to avoid it forever. And actually my 6-year-old caught it first, I then got it, and then my husband got it. And somehow our 4-year-old has escaped without it. Don't ask me how that works. But of course, because of that, our extreme frugal living year has been kind of different to what I imagined it would be. So I thought today's video I would share kind of how that's been since that kind of all went, how much I'm kind of spending or not spending, and just where we are really kind of going forward. So I guess the first thing to point out is that the first week, especially when I was really poorly and my 6-year-old was at home as well and my husband was not positive at that stage, he did the shopping and used his card, didn't use that pot of cash at all. And so of course that's totally, so that we're in the second week in and it's already gone out of the window. And so, and then the kind of the third week in January, he was also doing the food. I just haven't been up to doing anything at all, and my husband and my 6-year-old were totally fine with it, even though they tested positive and had to stay at home for all that time. They've been okay, I haven't been. And so the food shop particularly, which is totally my thing when I do that for our household, kind of was just left. I kind of tried to do some meal planning, but again couldn't kind of get my brain to work out kind of things like that, and so it all went a bit out the window and we lived on kind of convenience food more than anything. Things that were easy just to shove in the oven. You know, if you've got young children, you have to kind of continue regardless, but it was really difficult. And so spending wise, we haven't used that pot as much as was planned, and I'm back to that now. But obviously that will have a knock-on effect in terms of how long will that last, because obviously it's not been used. But for example, I've been food shopping this morning and Morrison's was ridiculously busy, but I've spent just over £40 on our food shop for this week, and I think about £7 on miscellaneous items, which includes a birthday present for someone else. So I'm definitely back on track in terms of just general frugal living, but it hasn't been an easy ride and it hasn't been what I intended at all. And I guess in some ways, kind of illness aside, that's also why I've not done a video, because it hasn't been how I'd planned for that. That being said, I'm definitely back on track and I'm looking forward to kind of getting back in the swing of things and not using kind of cards or anything, because that was the whole plan after all. So this week that's just been gone, I think I spent 2 days of the week. In fact, let me show you my no spending tracker for February. I've not even done a budget with me February video because I just wasn't well enough to do it. This is what my no spend day tracker looks like for February, including today. So this is what it looks like. So I've had 3 spend days in February, and then the rest of them have been no spend days. Again, I guess one of the silver linings to having COVID and not leaving the house at all is the amount of no spend days I managed in January and into February. Today's already been coloured in as a spend day. I've done the food shop, I've got some miscellaneous things, and I am going to have a look at ordering some cat food online later and see if we can get that delivered. I feel like there's an offer on the cat food that we get, so I'm going to have a look at that later. So it's definitely a spend day today. But in terms of no spend days, I'm happy with how that looks. It definitely, if you've not done any kind of challenge like this before, have a go for a month and see what it does to your spending triggers and how you feel about spending money versus not spending money. Now I know there's a very big camp, especially on Instagram, of people who really are very vocal about not liking no spend days. And I get it, especially if you're someone who would kind of do really well and then have a massive blowout and spend loads of money. Probably doesn't work for you. But if you're not that kind of mindset, then have a go to see how, and see how you get on and see how it works. It really does kind of look at that in a different light. And the other thing I've done this week is I've kind of looked at my sinking funds a bit more, and I'll kind of insert a little clip here of those if you've not seen those. But my sinking fund setup again is quite different this year, in the sense that I've got quite a big aim for one of them, and I've shared that in the initial video, and you'll see that in here, but I haven't added anything to my sinking fund yet, and we're halfway through February. So I need to get that going as well. I feel like I've lost, I tell you what it feels like. It feels like I've lost like a kind of nearly a whole month's worth of time where I haven't been productive. I haven't got what I've wanted to get done. I'm just kind of, I don't know, it's just been a really weird, and like I say, I'm not, definitely not back to normal yet either, far from it actually. So in terms of just general kind of getting on with stuff and finances, I feel like I'm behind, and it's only the second month of the year in, so there we go. Food wise, actually, I was going to talk about this. Does anyone shop in Morrison's, and who watches this channel? I get that lots of people shop at Aldi and Lidl, but if you shop in Morrison's, I went this morning and they've got like a whole stand now in the Morrison's I shop at of like their wonky fruit and veg, and they're kind of quite big bags of things, but their prices are kind of, for us on a budget, are so much better. So this morning I got a bag of apples and a bag of pears, for example, and they're so much cheaper than the kind of the other type of, and I can't find anything that's different about them. So I've washed them and kind of put them in the fruit bowl, and they literally look the same, but they are like half the price. And so if you've got a Morrison's near you, have a look out for that. There was loads of things I didn't buy, so they had like bags of peppers and massive bags of potatoes. If you know, if you're looking to kind of get more fresh stuff but on a budget, that's gonna really help. I was really impressed with that this morning. I could have got lots more, but it wasn't in the meal plan for this week, and I didn't want to buy it just for the sake of buying it. But if you've got one nearby, then definitely check that out. It is, you know, really reasonable price for what you're doing, and I'm mindful of the fact that we go through so much fruit and veg. That's going to help us with our food budget. But yeah, this I guess is just an update to say I'm back, I'm here, I'm continuing the frugal living thing, obviously, but it's been slightly different until this point onwards, and I'm hoping from this point onwards I will get more kind of used to filming, editing, everyday life, kind of getting on, doing what I would normally be doing before. And let me tell you, I do not ever want to catch COVID again. If I catch it again, I'll be really disappointed, because it's been horrendous. And yeah, and it's not over yet for me, so there we go. But thank you for sticking by me, and thank you for coming back to the channel, even if, you know, I've not posted as often as usual. If you've got anything that you particularly like me to film, so for example, I've done a food shop this morning, would you be interested if I filmed my food shops to show you what I'm buying for our family for on a budget? I would be quite happy to do those if it's of interest. I don't really want to do that if it's not of interest to people. But let me know kind of the things that you would like to see on here in terms of frugal living, or our year of extreme frugal living. And yeah, I'll be back very soon with another video, but thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you again very soon.